Okay, and we're recording this. This is going to be the first one. I hope it's going to be a weekly meeting that we're going to do with with the Mantequilla-Soft, with the guys from Mantequilla-Soft, and of course, right now it's just going to be the four of us. Mengao said he might be able to join. We'll see if he shows up. And Enrique, I didn't hear a peep, so it's just going to be the four of us for now. But I guess what I want to do with these meetings when we have them weekly is more or less kind of agree on the north or what it is that we're working on, but also I think to improve on one of the what I believe is one of the shortcomings that a lot of developers have on Hive, and I say this lovingly, but I'm just being honest here. I think brutal honesty is good, which is terrible communication skills. Um, there's developers that are doing a really awesome things, and they know what they're doing. They're amazing at their work, but the average stakeholder, and it doesn't matter if it's small or big, doesn't really know what's happening. They're like, okay, I trust that there's work happening. I trust. With that in mind, or because of that issue, is why Swarm of Swarms came to be, and the Pizza Man started doing it, which I think is great. That way, anybody can kind of look into that account and see more or less what's happening. Okay, what is, for example, what is Sagar working on? Sagar, works with ThreeSpeak, checking with Striator, and what has he done? And this kind of helps you not to just single out Sagar. What has Stakeholder done? What has Tipfox done, et cetera, et cetera. And what this does to me is, first of all, it kind of gives you a finger on the pulse to see where things are going. I think a chain with development is going to be a chain that's going to thrive, it's going to survive. A chain that has no development, which is the case of the legacy chain, is likely to die. Although I don't know how they keep the lights on, but the point being is that it also allows people on Hive to really see or make better decisions into who it is that they should be supporting. My hope with this is that there's a realignment of our perception of valuable people on the chain. The idea is that for most stakeholders now, they can go like, okay, who's really putting in the work? You know, because these days we have an skewed perception of the value of somebody by the size of the wallet, and I want to be able to, in a way, I don't know how much, contribute to breaking that idea. You're like, okay, is so and so important? Let me see the wallet. I think that's dumb. There are people here that contribute a lot more with their brains than because and because they don't have millions of dollars to buy a bunch of stake, people just yeah, okay, whatever. It's a tiny account, and so I want to also push back on that idea. And so that's the target of these meetings. They don't have to be too long, but I do want to start off by saying, first of all, that I'm very grateful that we've created this little group. I'm very grateful that Tip Fox has joined. Very grateful that Mingao joined. He joined a few days ago, and I think he's going to be also an incredibly valuable asset. He's a he's a master coder from the back when, and he's a very talented guy, very valuable guy to Hive, and I don't know if enough people know that. But also, I'm grateful that Queso is on the boat too. I'm grateful for you also, Eddie, and Enrique. Although Enrique, I haven't heard a peep from him this week. Hopefully next time he'll come around. So, anyways, so what are we going to talk about today? I really wanted to more or less. I guess I'm going to take a page off how the core dev meetings kind of do it, but I want to give you guys a challenge because I want people to, if they want to listen to our little meetings, to understand them. And I know that sounds kind of dumb that I'm saying that, but developers tend to be, and I include myself, we tend to be way too technical, and it just makes people tune out, and that's not the idea. So like if I give you like a report this week and I go like, yeah, I changed a regex pattern to pass the test, and I put it into the pipe. Who knows what that is? I mean, I know what it is. You probably know what it is, but for the average person, they're like, what is regex? What's a pipeline? So it doesn't make sense. So the challenge of these meetings is to speak plain English to people on what it is that we are working on, and kind of let them know a way that they can see the results too, because there's a lot of stuff that gets done, and they're like, here's a list of accomplishments. Okay, how do I test it? So
Yeah.
that's the other challenge of what we are doing. Uh, you want do you want to get started, Eddie, or what it is that you've been working on, and with this in mind, and also and what it is that the goals that we have set up, I guess, for what we're doing with 3Speak, what we're doing. Like you can start it off if you want to, or Tib's got some cool stuff that he's working on right now that I think is very exciting. But whoever wants to start.
Well, I shared a document on the group that where I listed all the things that each of us did this last week, and I want to start maybe with saying that we got an IPFS hot node. We got it last week. I think it was last week, and we this week we started setting it up. And well, the overall idea is to make videos play faster and for them to pin faster and get faster. They can the encoding is or the encoding will depend on the encoder node, but pinning them faster so they are available for people to watch. It's gonna be it's gonna be faster. And another thing that we did this week was to create another I wouldn't want to say branch, but people will say, what does a branch is? But another version of another version of where we are putting the updates for so we don't put them directly on the main site. We created a new subdomain called preview.freespeak.tv where we are testing the new updates. This is because if one of us makes a change or one of you which because you are the developers make a change and for some reason it kind of instead of breaking the main site or production as they tell them, uh, we put it in this new site where we can test it and we can find bugs, and that way we don't stop the videos from uploading.
The show
That
don't stop.
was mhm.
Yeah.
That was so I created the subdomain and I created the on GitHub, I created it's called the branch, but it's like another version of TreeSpeak. And another thing that this was something that I did with Meno. We contacted Asgard from Picnic. So this was early on the week. You may have noticed that a week ago when we made the changes, some videos were not playing on hive.blog. At first, they were not playing anywhere, the first one to respond was Good Karma from SNC, and he fixed it. He added the new player because with this new front end, we also have a new open source player that we are upgrading, that we are making changes, we are making tweaks. But the front end had to make some tweaks on their end. So everyone was sending me messages, hey Eddie, I guess you know, but we cannot see videos on here and there. So Good Karma was the first one to respond, and then Asgard from Pigdy. The weekend the weekend was in the middle of this, so on Monday he was able to quickly also make the changes. He tested it on first on beta.pigdy.com, which is something similar that we have on preview.freespeak.tv. So we tested the changes there. We found another bugs. He corrected them, and now I think on Tuesday, since Tuesday, the videos are now playable on PixD2 with a new player. I think that's from me what I did directly. Of course, this was in coordination also with Meno, which we made a small group with Asgard to help fix all of this. And I think Men also submitted a merge request for hive.blog, but I think we're still waiting on that one, right, Meno? Or is it?
Yeah. Dan sent me some feedback. He wants me to do a test. And that's the thing that we also need to get in the habit of doing when you do changes. You
Mhm. Someone has to review them, or
No, review is a
or
is a is a given, but
ah
the way that it works in the corporate world, and I'm not saying I'm trying to be a corporation or anything, is that when you make changes, you also make a test for your change, so that
okay.
it's easy for the code reviewer to
Oh,
check
I see.
what you did. So
Hmm.
for to give you a very simple example, we are basically changing how the URLs are constructed, right? It used to be 3speak.tv and then the watch and then the whatever everything else. Now we're using play.3speak.tv. So the pattern that we need to recognize is different. So you make a little test to make sure that you're recognizing those patterns correctly. You know that,
Hmm.
and then um, you obviously you document and all stuff, and so that way the person that is going to approve the merge request, I think it's going to be Dan, by the way. I'm not 100% sure. Instead of him saying, "Oh, I guess it looks fine," and just lighting a candle and saying, let's YOLO this
This,
thing," he can put a
uh,
bunch of URLs and test it against a test to make sure that
hmm.
it passes or it doesn't pass. You're like, "Is this correct?" And you try to break it. So you for example, you misspell something, or instead of
Okay.
play you put ply, for example, and see if it breaks or it doesn't
Hmm.
break. So I made the test today, the one that he requested, and I submitted. So I think, and of course I tested my test. I think it's gonna get merged
But
soon.
by the way, Dan is block trades, right?
Dan is block trades. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
calling him. I'm calling it Dan. I guess I think most people know, but
Yeah. Well,
it,
there are many
yeah,
Dans on
that is true.
Yeah.
Hive.
I all right. So Tim, what? How about you,
Yeah.
brother? You've been
Yeah.
working
I
on some
was
really badass shit. So I want you to talk about the Okinoko
okay. Okay. So but first I want to talk about the Snappy player because I also really like it.
stuff. Cool.
uh, so first of all, the Snappy player. Uh, this is the 3Speak video player. So if you go to 3Speak and click a video, it will play a video within this Snappy player. And I added autoplay support, which was I had the reason because if you go to other video sites like the big ones and you click a video is automatically playing, and um, this is not possible for a small site like 3Speak because browsers have a check for, I don't know, just an index how trustworthy a website is, and YouTube and all that stuff, they are in this index pretty high, so they are allowed to autoplay videos with sound. Um, and for 3Speak, I checked it, I tested it. It is not working because the URL is 3Speak. So I added autoplay support, so someone from outside could um, start some kind of simulated click on the sound. So this is basically working around this. On 3Speak, we need to test it, of course, simulate a video play click. And with this also the sound will happen. And this all started because I have this little small project I'm trying to work on that we could potentially bring 3Speak on Samsung TVs. And for this
Mm.
little project, it's just an experiment. It's not nothing I can show you now, but I had to improve the navigation system of 3Speak. So if you click the remote, it will jump to the video, and if you click the enter button, it will open the video and then auto plays, of course. And if you
Okay.
click play, it should stop playing and all that stuff. And that's why I implemented play, pause, C controls, autoplay, all that cool stuff. And yeah, in the
I have
meantime,
a
I
Samsung
will.
TV, by the way, so I
That's
can
really
test
cool
it.
because I don't
Uh,
have one, but
okay.
I have an emulator I can
I see.
use, and it was a
Hmm.
big hassle to get this running because it's pretty old software stuff from Samsung. But I have this emulator running now. Um, and I have a TV. I think it's another operating system. I forgot the name, and they are really complicated. So Samsung TV is pretty easy,
Hmm.
as well as Apple TV and all the main brands. They all support just websites.
Mhm.
But the TV I have, you need to code the whole app on your own in XML format. So it's super complicated.
Okay.
But the big brands we could support with this. And also, I have checked. We can register this app with a non-profit. We don't need to really register something, But if you have a non-profit organization, you need to have someone with their real personal ID um, um,
And
checking it into them.
that
So
way it can be downloaded from the
yeah,
from.
that way you can, yeah, absolutely. You can just upload into the Play Store or in the Samsung store. Then you can download it and you go open it and you, yeah, basically do whatever you want. But also for this, because it's a website internally, we need to have this little hack of autoplay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if
Yeah,
I would call it a hack. No, it's not a hack.
yeah.
It's
I
kind
mean,
of and no. If I understand correctly, this happens. It would happen naturally eventually. Like if TeamSpeak takes off, that the web browsers will be like, oh, that's a trusted website and play.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
And this is always also already implemented. So basically, you have an autoplay, and the autoplay is muted because this
Okay.
is the way they fight advertisement that is booming out of your speakers when you open a website. That was the solution of them.
Okay.
But this way, also
Mhm.
all the small video sites have an issue because they can play with sound. But yeah, this change should work. And then yeah, I continued with Okinoko because it was just, yeah. I am currently, so just for everyone who does not know what Okinoko is, it is a user interface for the Magi network, so formerly known as VSC uh, network. If you don't know this, just check the proposals of Hive, then you will see it. And Magi network is this a layer 2 chain that supports smart contracts. And I am pretty deep into smart contract development since then. And right now I'm on the finish line. I'm really almost finished with the DAO. So this
Yeah,
is a multi-purpose DAO.
that's
So
very
for
exciting.
example, we could create a DAO. We four people are members, and we could say, let's send Queso Link some funds. And then we all need to approve this. And if a certain threshold is met, then we can execute this, and Queso Link will receive the funds. This is just the simple way. There are many more things you can do. Even now, you can also execute other contracts from the DAO. So you can create a proposal. Let us buy this super expensive NFT, and if all people agree, then this contract will be called, and the NFT is bought, for example. So this is really powerful. And in the end, of course, also EVM wallets can interact with Magi. So it could be a DAO for anyone who got any Ethereum wallet. Um, Building up their DAO, they need Hive or HBD for this. So this is the cool trick. So they
Okay.
will need to
Mhm.
buy Hive on the market and
Mhm.
somehow get it into their Magi wallet.
You
Yeah.
know why I find this to be very exciting, and is why I wanted you to talk about this today. Because uh, of course, like there's a way to fund projects on Hive. Everybody knows about the DHF, but I don't. It doesn't have to be the only one. So the idea that something like what we're doing now, what this is the beginning of, obviously, could eventually incorporate a DAO and basically run independently of the DHF. That's exciting to me. You know, I there's actually quite a few DAOs out there that are pretty popular. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys that I understand 100% because some of them are okay. You buy like a weird NFT of a guy with glasses, and then every 1 hour there's a new one, and then once if you in order for you to vote, you have to have these NFTs, and but they can go up and down in value. I understand the surface level how it works, but what's really exciting about it to me is that it creates like a feedback system between the people who are using your products maybe or interested in what you're doing, your initiative, your organization, and the actual people doing the work. So that if you build something really really nice and you're like, hey, this is what we're doing, this is kind of our plan, you want to support what we're doing, here's and I don't know if this will happen. Here's some NFTs are running on Okinoko, and this is our DAO, blah blah. Here's how you can interact with it, and you can vote on the stuff that we're doing. I think that's really exciting, and it will give again not just us if we do this, but it will give any group of developers, any group of let's call it let's call it dreamers. I don't know what you want to call it. It's not. I hate using the word developer or entrepreneur. I hate those words. They become so toxic to me. But people that want to do something, people that are focused on some ideals, a realistic way to fund what it is that they're doing. Because at the end of the day, all of us have bills to pay, and of course, this is all voluntary work, but we have bills to pay. So I find this to be, um, I don't know if the best word I can come up with is promising. It could be something really, really awesome. So that's exciting to me. And you say you're almost done.
Yeah. I already have it deployed, but I needed an update because it was just too complicated and too not enough functions. So, for example, the idea you had or the method you named, the NFT method,
Uh-huh.
I had to implement this. There is no NFT contract right now on the Magi network. This is also almost done, I've heard. And when this is done, you can configure in your DAO that someone needs to have an NFT to actually join your DAO. But I always had dreams about this for the DIY Hub community I have,
Yeah.
because we made some really important decisions, and I was the only one who could decide this, and I didn't want to. So I asked the team, and they said, "Yeah, do whatever you want." Then I created a poll on PeakD
Mm-hmm.
asking the community, but this also didn't feel like really binding to me. So if the community says no, I still can do it and say yes. And that's why I really like the DAO, because it is
Mhm.
written what will happen when you vote, and nobody can interfere, basically.
It's really,
Yeah.
really making it democratic, for real.
Yeah, that's another point. You can set up the DAO democratic even. You don't need to have stake based. Normally DAOs are stake based. The ones you mentioned are not stake based, they are democratic. So everyone with a certain NFT has one vote. But in my DAO, you can just decide if you want to have a stake based or a democratic DAO.
That's
So for example,
awesome.
if you have someone like value plan, I don't want to say value plan, but if you have someone like value plan making big proposals, they put the funds into this DAO, and then people from outside come create proposals. I want this money for this
Mhm.
activity, and the community can decide, or only a handful of people can decide. But it's all transparent. It's nothing is behind closed doors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be beautiful. Actually, I didn't think about Value Plan adopting something like this. That would make a lot of sense. That
Yeah.
would make a
Yeah,
lot of sense.
because some people on the community may like some proposals from value plan, but others not. So
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
so it's mhm.
Yeah. Also, the handful of people who decide right now. There are many people who have keys, but I've heard only three or two people decided really.
Or
And there
one.
was this, yeah, or one, and there was this table mentioned and all that stuff. But even if there are five people deciding now, nobody will know who they are, what they voted,
Mhm.
and with the DAO, it's all transparent.
Okay.
This is
Yeah.
awesome. This
Yeah.
is really awesome. I think
And it's
a big possibility is that the big dApps uh, on Hive could all create their own DAO
yeah.
to fund themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. To fund themselves, to ask the community about
Yeah.
decision making.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a one stop for everyone basically, and also outside. You could also think of something like the Kingdom. They brought this up when they have been on your show, I think. The Kingdom, the guy from Poland,
Uh,
and
yeah.
I don't know if
Krakow
you
from
have been there, or Bus Party. Butcoins was the host, I think, this time.
Yeah. I think it
But
was Butcoins. Yeah.
yeah, and they said that they do democratic decisions inside of their little community with a self-coded DAO, and it's really chunky and all that stuff. They said, and it was just a little encouragement for me to really continue with this. And to basically these kind of communities, all small communities. I'm in a community garden, for example.
Uh-huh.
If they want to change some rules, they can just make a proposal and decide on it.
okay.
And it's really cheap. Basically, you only have one. You need to have one HBD like to be really to work on Magi. So you need RC to do something on Magi,
Uh-huh.
and this RC is not built up by your Hive power, but by your HBD in your Magi wallet.
Okay.
And if you have one HBD, you have one RC. And for example, a proposal vote is like 0.3 RC.
Yeah. So
Proposal
so
creation is, of course, a little
And
bit more expensive,
does it
one
recharge?
1.5. Yeah,
Does it
over
recharge?
time.
Okay, like
Mhm.
just like RCs.
Yeah. And also, every Hive user has 5 RC by default. But you
Okay.
need at least 0.01 HBD to let it refill.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it will be a big thing if people will adapt it. It's always this.
well
It's like
that's
the
Yeah.
games I've
yeah.
did, I also I thought, oh, tic-tac-toe, it's so cool and people can gamble, and it had a little bit of traction, but now it's just gone to zero, kind of. So it's in the early days.
I saw on this. Well, you never know, bro. You never know. I saw this interview the other day of this guy because YouTube is filled with people that say I coded a vibe coded an app in 3 days and made $1 million. Those kind of videos exist everywhere, and I think all of them are BS or 99% of them are BS. Maybe there's one guy, but I saw a video the other day which I was like, okay, here's a real one of a guy that created 28 apps before he landed on one that was actually like, oh, okay,
Mm.
this is something people want, and then all of a sudden the other ones started to trickle down because they're like, oh, this company did it. Oh, let me see what else they got,
Ah,
and now he's doing
Mm.
yeah,
really good. So
yeah.
you don't really know how these things take off. Like I can personally say in the case of Snappy, uh, the I think most people know, but I'll say it since this is going to go on YouTube as well. Snappy is like a short form front end for Hive. Think of Twitter, early days kind of thing. You can do videos, audio, write, put memes, gifs, whatever you want. It's really simple to use. The idea when I was thinking of it, it's like it just got to be intuitive. It just has to be easy to. That's the plan. And you have no idea how many people told me, uh, I don't. Yeah, we don't need it. We have Peak D, we have SNC, we have like, how many people were like, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And I still did it because I don't know. Maybe I'm a stubborn idiot. And
And right now it has 820 snaps on Snappy,
yeah, it's a number one used
and
short form.
the second one has 300.
Yeah, it's a number one used short form on Hive. So and so you never know. Like
Yeah.
I they told me I heard every reason why I shouldn't do it, how it's redundant work, and somehow it seems to actually be doing good. So you never know. I think your DAO idea is an amazing idea, and I already had like the gears turning. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I eventually I would love for the DHF to not be the default way that people do uh, big projects on Hive. I would love it to become a DAO. Well, everybody has DAOs, and then they will come and go. But it'll be truly democratic, not just a few people making big decisions, but like the community. And I love that idea.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you, Tib. I did merge your you had a merge request for Snappy and Player. It's
Hmm.
done. So I don't know if you
Ah,
saw. Yeah. Um,
cool.
so when will you think we're gonna have a video of Eddie playing with 3Speak on his TV?
I really I had, I would say 70%. Okay, so 70% of the ground level sites I added those controls. So if you
Okay.
move through the videos and all that stuff, it's highlighted in red where you are, and then you can press enter. And like
Okay.
voting, for example, I had to make
Mhm.
an extra pop-up for this and all that stuff. But I think if I continue next week after I finish the DAO, then I think in 2 weeks or something like this.
Is
I
it?
don't know how to deploy it on your TV. We will see. I
Okay,
think yeah,
we can
it,
test.
it yeah, it will be a little bit hard, I
Yeah,
think, but
because
we see.
well, it's not brand new, but it's also not that old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
no,
TV.
it's yeah, that's one extreme requirement that the website you are displaying supports 10-year-old browsers. So we are good.
Ah, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
That's
yeah.
good.
The emulator is also like 10 years old.
Hello.
Very cool.
Actually, I haven't joined in also in testing on my smart TV, but I have my niece coming around and smart TV I got. They broke it. I'm
Oh
telling
no.
you. I'm serious. Just 2 months I got the stuff, and they came around while they are, just one of them is just 4 year old, the other one is just 5 or something. Just came back, put on the TV everywhere, blue screen, broken. Like,
Oh
oh my
no.
god,
You're cutting out
crazy.
a little bit, Queso, or is it just for me?
Just a little bit. I think it's now it's better.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I don't think Queso has ever been on these videos on Three Speak before. I know Eddie makes videos, Tip makes videos, I make videos, but I don't think I've ever seen Queso. So today is the debut, and so Queso Link, for those that don't know, Queso Link was for a year the only dev working on the brand new Three Speak website that you guys are currently using. So what you see is the work of one dude. And about 3 months or so ago, I joined to Three Speak. I didn't even know how that happened, to be honest. But and I started helping out KSO and making new back end stuff for him so he could finish his work. But for almost a year, it was just one guy, and and I have to say it's a big freaking project. For one person, it's a big freaking project. And I remember when I was talking to Matt about it, and he told me that you were doing it, and I said, yeah, it could take 2 or 3 months. And Matt said, well, no, these things grow arm and legs. And by all means, my opinion now has changed quite a bit. I think it is like maybe a 3 or 4 month project as a team, but one person, that's a whole different story because you have a lot of
Mhm.
things you have to change on the back end. You have a lot of things that are there's so many edge cases when you build something like this that unless you have a lot of people putting eyes on it, it's just impossible to predict. Uh, but anyways, Queso's still working on this stuff. He's still doing improvements. And if you guys also don't know, on the Discord channel on the Three Speak, there's a new not Discord server, not channel. Discord server on 3Speak. There's a new channel for the new front end, so you can report bugs and suggestions and whatnot. So and we're already doing it. So Kessa, what have you been doing this week? I know, but people need to know.
All right. Uh, so this week, earlier this week, we started in creating a preview a preview website. So for we developers. So when after we finish coding, we just push the preview website. Then um, so we can test. We don't just push to our main branch that we are deploying. So we have to just push to the preview. So we get that done. And secondly, we have been working. I've been working on the factor of the code base. They've been this project has been for over like a year, right? Before I have this good thing having hands on it, Meno, Eddie. Now, Tip Fox, Tip Fox, thank you very much. Your improvement on the group feed was amazing, honestly, I'll tell you. So I'll be doing a lot of refactor because me building this stuff, it shouldn't have taken up to a year, but this is what it is. We building stuff without some kind of resources. This is what that really killed my time. Right, I was just building because I'm a front end developer. I'm just learning the back end, right? So there are some things that I need, but I couldn't get. But right now we have Mino and Eddie, putting us together for helping to get all these things done. So I've been in a lot of factors, and also there are some things that some feedback we have been getting from the Discord channel for the new front end. So all those fix we have been making those fix the feedback from the feedback we got from people, and also there are some other things that we detected like the tag. If you right now click on the tag
Mhm.
on the front end, it's not actually working. So, but now it's working, right?
Yeah, the tags were a
So
big deal. That is currently that was fixed. I don't know if it ever worked, to be honest. I don't remember. But now we have
the
a feed for tags, which is very much needed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't have yes, yes, yes. You're right, Mino. So we now have a feed for tags, and it's working right now. And also the community channel. So I just fixed that also because I fixed that at the first instance, but I later noticed that there is kind of there are some posts that doesn't come with community ID, right? So I have to get a Unity API that gets this that gets all the ID. So when I get the API, everything is now working. So again, there are some other little fix that I've been doing because I notice sometimes we have a lot of re-rendering on the page, so I have to use some kind of hooks to kill that to make the page even work more smoother. And basically, that's what I've been doing for the week.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I think I know this now for a fact. Uh, a code base is never finished. It just kind of it just kind of left aside for a while because you can always improve it. As a matter of fact, I think one of the most underrated jobs in the world of development has to be optimization. Because you see something, it's working, right? It's working, and then somebody will spend weeks optimizing code, and it just keeps on working. So you're like, oh, yeah, what did he do? He didn't do anything. You know,
Yeah.
but it's not at all the case because you shave off 300 milliseconds on certain part. You shave off, let's say a common thing or a common mistake that I've made plenty of times is you have a use effect, which is it gets called way too often. Then you have a bunch of API calls, and then you're like, so that slows everything down. And you're like, oh,
Mhm.
maybe it could just catch that and store it. And so these optimizations that you end up doing at the end, when you add up all those, all of a sudden the app is just like amazing. One of the things that one of the biggest blessings I think I had this year is that my brother got involved with Snappy, and my brother is super. He's like I don't know how to describe it. He's like the math teacher in school. So I would send, and I would tell this to Eddie. Like I would never treat anybody like that. Okay, I love my brother to death, but this is my dynamic with him. It's not something I would apply everywhere else. And I would send him a pull request for something. He would look at it for 3 seconds and close my pull request, and then reply garbage. And I would be like, okay, but tell me why. It's garbage. I don't even know where to begin. Garbage. Do it again. And then we would have a conversation. Okay, tell me what's okay. It's like, oh, you didn't do this. You're not, you know, you're not doing the dry principle. Do not repeat yourself principle. Like, so you should have used this. And then he would give me like a crazy list, and I'm talking about like a 3 pages document of everything that is wrong with what I did. And I'm like, it hurts in the gut. But I'm like, sure enough. And I spent 3 4 days trying to fix it, send it to him. He approves it. And sure enough, if Snappy, pun intended, is very snappy. Like if you use the app, it's quick. Because of that optimization. It's just reuse stuff, reuse it. Um, and it wouldn't be the case unless he was there to I guess teach me, about optimizing code. So what you're doing right now is very valuable, even though it seems like annoying or like it's just it doesn't feel like I'm moving forward. It's extremely valuable. Something that I guess most people know. If you're on Hive, you know, but if you're on YouTube, you're watching this video, you probably don't know. All this stuff that we're discussing, all this is open source. So all the code, um, you can go look at it yourself. And the idea of this is really to empower people. And you can run your own, I guess I'm saying this. I'm not saying to go do it, but you could grab the code that we've been working on and do your own video platform. That's how it is. That's how open source works. Make something or contribute to 3Speak, make it even better. And the other day on this topic, because I think it's so freaking cool. You guys know who Linus Torvalds is, right?
You know, uh,
Hmm?
Eddie.
Yeah.
Let me say this.
Hmm.
One of the crazy thing about React is, you might enter a website that has been built. Just probably a normal user will just get in there,
Uh huh.
and just do one or two things on the website, and you just leave. They don't know what really happens on the background, right?
Of course.
Even when there is a lot of rendering going on in the background, which is unnecessary, they don't just know. So that's why you see you go into a website, right, and just maybe you access like 4 5 pages, and the amount of megabytes you lose is just too much. Do you get me? Because a lot of the rendering is happening. Are you getting me? Continuous call of unnecessary APIs that is not even needed. Do you get me? So
Mhm.
you just going through some websites before you know, you check the amount of megabytes you lost there. Are you getting me? Just like just too much. And when you just do nothing, a lot
Yeah.
of calls have been happening that you are not seeing. So this is why this optimization is needed. So I've been doing that majorly on the player page. I
Uh-huh.
get on the watch page, so it's very very much needed. They have optimized it to some point. In fact, I'm very very okay with it. Right, so that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And you also need to take into account every single possible user. So people with
Mhm.
low internet, with low resources on a
Mhm.
phone, on a really old tablet, and all that stuff. So optimization is extremely important. Yeah, I have heard people complaining about pictures being too big. I put in my posts because they open the post and the pictures are
In the picture.
loading and loading and loading. And since then, I just rescale them to 50% and everything's fine.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it
we
starts
have
with this and it ends with API calls. Yeah.
yeah, we have users from Cuba that have
Yeah.
requested us to encode to 240 because for them watching
Yeah.
videos it's kind of
So
horrible.
they can't watch them
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
Most of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're dial up, sometimes it feels like they are, right? Because they're like,
They are like at most 3G, I think, or 2G.
Hmm.
wow,
Not even 3G. 3G is like
that's
very
amazing.
fast for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I think. Oh, it's
Crazy.
the other one
Yeah.
is H. Do you remember that before they had an H?
Mhm.
That
H, yeah.
was
Yeah.
Hedge, I think that's
uh
called, no?
I think it's before 2G, right?
before 2G. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, that's crazy. Uh, well, since we're talking about encoding right now, it's probably a good time to let you guys. Well, I'll put it on this video too. What's happening with the encoder? Because of TipFox, I found an edge case uh, that is happening with iPhone users. So it turns out that if you have an iPhone that has updated the iOS, the recording that you do with it, the codec is a really weird codec. I think it's connected with the hike images. It's probably the same algo for compression. It's called HEVC or something like that. I may be butchering it, but anyways,
No, no, it's real.
huh?
It's correct. It's correct. But I'm not using iPhone. I have an Samsung,
Oh yeah,
but a pretty new Samsung. Yeah, it's also using
Oh,
HEVC.
HEVC.
oh,
Yeah.
maybe it's a new phone thing
It could be a new phone
Yeah,
thing.
or
yeah.
phones.
It's a
That's,
crazy compression. It's just really, really
mm,
small files, and they are really hard to edit. For example, so
mm,
an editor like DaVinci Resolve or something, they need to uh, de-encode them
Yeah.
so you can cut them at
and
least. Yeah.
re-encode them. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. Well, I didn't know that, but
Because we've also seen that some videos are like they are vertical videos or portrait videos, and they are flipped.
yeah, that's a different issue. Like
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
well,
if you're talking about optimization, I have like a document that I prepared for myself, and of course, I'm gonna start doing it this week. But hopefully, Tivi or anybody who has time can help me. Of all the things I want to do to the encoder to improve it, the
mhm.
code base on the encoder is really ugly. I have to say, it's almost embarrassingly ugly, but it's working. But a refactor is needed for it needs to be optimized. But the, the way that it currently works, or it was working up until now, was that when you would send a video that's already very much compressed, like you can't compress a video that you already compressed. So it would just grab the video and be like, "Oh, don't worry, this is compressed," and it would make the structure needed
the
for the
the
player,
pass through.
and it was a pass through. But this new format, the one that TipFox just said, HVEC,
HE
yeah,
HEVC.
HEV, well that one. The browsers cannot play it. So like if you're using, it doesn't matter what it is, Safari, I think Safari can, but
Mhm.
Chrome cannot play it, Chromium cannot play it, Brave cannot play it. So you end up with the video loads and you can hear it, but it's not gonna play. So and already updated the code on, obviously it's a preview branch, but now it does the probe, and if it's a format that it detects to not be compatible, then it actually encodes it to make it compatible. Um,
Okay.
so this new code is already live on my branch. I Because I refactored some stuff, I haven't pushed it so that everybody can update, but I will very soon. But I'm also doing something that I think is very exciting, which is the usage of the hot node. Eddie said we already got the hot node, and I built a new service, a hot node service. It's already working. And it works pretty cool, and I'm pretty happy about it. That basically works side by side with the hot node. And so, what is a hot node? Because I keep on saying we need to explain these things in a way that is easy for people to understand. Instead of you uploading the videos, or the videos living in the eternal storage of 3Speak, which is a big super node that we call the IPFS mega repo, they are going to be stored in a temporary server for 7 days. And the idea of this server is, because it's going to be a small server, smaller, not small, but smaller server with really fast hard drives. When people request videos that are live, that are within the 7 day window, it's going to be way faster, because it's not going to have to look.
Mm.
The way that it's happening right now is like you request a video on 3Speak, and the supernode has to look in a list, and it's really a text file of millions of entries, and until it finds it, found it, and then it will display the video, and and we're talking about optimization. This is optimization game again. Sometimes that's why you click on a 3Speak video and you have to wait like a minute, 2 minutes. It's really the super node. Imagine you doing a search on your hard drive, and you have like, what do we have? 85 terabytes of videos right now, Eddie? Something like that, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Imagine that, 85
Uh,
terabytes, and you do a search for a specific string. Find me that. Obviously, it's a monster computer. It's a monster. Otherwise, it wouldn't even be able to pull it off. But you're really kicking its butt for no really good reason. So this hot node service will receive the videos that are live. It will have a way smaller list. It will have thousands of videos instead of millions, and it will do the searches really fast, because it also has an NVMe hard drive on it. So it's and the then after it goes into this hot node, and for the 7 days, it will get slowly migrated to the super node for long-term storage. So you can think of it like where it gets cold stored. Because if people watch it, of course they can get back up, but it's probably after 7 days, most videos don't get that many plays. Honestly, have we had a viral video on 3Speak? I'm not sure. Maybe it's
mm,
happened before, but it will happen in the future.
mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
so the
When they upload the movies sometimes,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's
or
crazy.
series,
I
yeah,
remember.
that has happened.
Yeah, they upload whole movies. I remember that guy that uploaded a Hungarian film from the 70s.
Yeah.
And it was gigantic, like 4 hours long, but he compressed it so much. It was 238 megabytes, 4 hour long.
Wow.
The Well, that's crazy. Obviously, that got deleted, because, but I'm surprised
Uh,
the player could play it.
and one thing that I want to mention is something that we're working on. We're already making progress on it. Jumeno did some changes on the Snappy player that for some time, for some years, Matt has asked that when someone clicks post on a video, the video on Hive is posted right away, and then the video is processing in the back, and they will get a message that the video is processing. And after the time that the encoding takes, that can be from 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes an hour when there are edge cases, the video will be available. So you already did some changes on that, Mendo? And I was thinking, and I didn't tell you this before, but I was thinking this last night, maybe we could put that on the demo page on video.freespeak.tv/demo.html
Hmm.
to test it there. So because right now when someone uploads a video, the video is not converted into a Hive post right away. it is sent to the database of TreeSpeak, and then the scripts take all the information and make a post without using the posting authority of TreeSpeak. So what we need to do is the person using Kitchen can send the video right away to the Hive blockchain, and that way the video is posted. And on the background, when the video has finished the encoding, before I was not too sure about this idea because the encodings used to take at least 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour sometimes 3 hours. When things were down, it was crazy, and people were waiting hours sometimes for the video encoding, sometimes in very small videos. But now that we are improving the encoder since UK Meno, and we have a much better system that is much faster, we can actually do this because people might not even notice
Yeah, I think
that their
I,
video
I
is not available. I mean,
I think the biggest win here is also that you don't have to give anybody your posting authority. I think some
mhm.
people I don't mind because I obviously the three speak team is a team I trust, but some people might be like I don't want to give anybody my posting authority so I can post a video. So if we have this system, you don't have to. I think that's pretty fair.
Imagine someone has your posting authority and makes a post as "I'm gay" or something like that.
Yeah.
That could happen.
That could
That
happen.
could
In
happen.
Germany, in Germany, not the exact one, but in Germany, someone got the post in our authority from a well-known user and posted some
Uh-huh.
scam stuff 2 or 3 years
Oh,
ago. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
well
that could
it was
happen.
a it was a big thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
There's some people who are sticklers for security and they don't want to give anybody posting authority. So and we lose them as
Yeah.
users.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have made for Okinoko. I've made or also had a little experiment where you have two two authorities in a transaction. So the user is signing with his key on the keychain, and this signature is taken. I
Mhm.
think it's the opposite way, but it doesn't matter. This signature is taken and then signed again by the service, and because the signature is fitting to this user, it worked. So let's assume I explain
Okay.
it in a different way. If you play a game and the game needs to assure that your gameplay is really what was really going like this. So you make 10,000 points in this game. You can sign at the end, and if you're smart enough, you could change the website code with the dev tools and all that stuff, and just insert 10,000 points, and then sign your transaction. And I was searching for a way to avoid this. So the game is signing the game score of 10,000, gives you a pop-up of keychain where the signature is already in, and you then
Mhm.
also sign this 10,000 points. And
Okay.
only this combined signature, this combined transaction is going to the chain. Maybe we could do this the same, but the opposite around. So the user is signing the post and the whatever title and text and all that stuff, and a
Mhm.
pre-calculated three-speak URL. I don't know what everything needs to be on Hive to be considered a three-speak post, but this the whole post needs to be signed by the user. Then we get the transactions, the signature, and we could do in the background with the service just post when the encoding is done. So nobody needs to give three speaker posting
Okay.
authority,
Well,
basically.
that's one
But
way,
the
Yeah,
but
transaction.
because
the way that we are setting it up is even easier. Uh,
Ah,
Snappy Player has, and I think you know this from the embedded. So I don't know, but it has placeholder videos. So Eddie made for Snappy Player months ago 4 or 5 CIDs. We're currently just using three of animations. One of them will you play the video and it'll say encoding or say processing. Another one would be failed. Another
mhm,
one will be
yeah, I
the,
complete.
saw them. Yeah,
the three
And
speak videos converts into processing the words. The three speak
yeah,
logo, sorry.
yeah, so now
yeah.
Mhm.
in Snappy Player it was only on embedded because you could embed a video and then of course you don't know how long it's going to take for it to process. Although it's happening really quick, as Eddie just said. So now, also the non-embedded videos, so three speak legacy videos, are gonna have placeholders too. So if you make a post on TeeSpeak TV and you post right away on Hive, the video won't be ready. But when you
Okay.
play it, it'll say processing. It'll be like,
Yeah. Okay.
now if you refresh and 5 minutes later when it's done, then the real video will show up. But it's Snappy Player
Okay.
handling the logic. So Snappy Player
Mhm.
would look into the database of the video and be like, is it published? Is it good to go? Does it have the final CID? It does. Okay, let me show you the
Mhm.
video. If it doesn't say published, if it says that it's still encoding, then okay, let me show you the encoding video. If it's got deleted, because you could delete a video, and right now what would happen is the video would just be broken. You click on it, it says not available. But the Snappy Player will now be like, oh, this says deleted. Okay, let me show you the deleted video. I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
better feedback also to the user, and a simpler implementation, and um, we're gonna probably deploy it this week. But if we combine that with optimizations on encoding, which gonna be we're gonna be doing, obviously, boom, we got a winning combination. I don't know if you guys know
Mhm.
this, but I don't know. Tip, you don't know, but and Kesso, you don't know. I know Eddie does. Jan, how do you say his last name? I forgot. It's like Jan Jaworski,
Tomatowski or something like
something
that.
like that. Uh,
I don't remember.
he
Mhm.
sent me a line. Of course, the encoding we're doing it with FFmpeg is an open source encoder, very used in the world of Linux. You can download it, read all about it. It's very powerful. That's what we're using in the background. So the encoder is what it uses. So you set up parameters and you send it, and you do it. I had no idea you could do parallel streaming with FFmpeg. I had no idea. So the way that we are doing encoding now, and why it takes and it's fast, even 6 minutes, is that you grab, let's say you upload a video that's 100 megabytes. Okay, then this decoder plays it obviously really fast, not in real time, really fast, and then converts it into something else, and it'll be like, okay, let me do 480, then plays it again, let me do 720, then plays it again, let me do 1080. And so that process is done 3 times. I had no idea you could play all three in parallel.
Ah.
Obviously it's gonna really hit your CPU, you know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but it means that a powerful computer could easily cut the time by a third, which would be
Yeah,
amazing.
this happened because they on the Hive David account they uploaded a video that was like a minute and a half, more or less, like less than 2 minutes. And but it was like it was an iPhone video, a MOV file, about 5.5 gigabyte, but it ended up on one of Sagar's nodes, which I think is not that powerful, and it took an hour. At the end, it was reassigned and was encoded by another
Mm.
node in less than 10 minutes. But that's why Matt wants to avoid that waiting, that uncertainty of
Yeah.
the user. Is my video going to go through or not? So the post goes
Yeah.
right away.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
the user
but with these
experience.
optimizations, we can do it much faster and we can post it right away. And then
No,
the encoding will be
regarding
available.
the Sagar node, this is something we need to maybe agree on. I'm all for people contributing to the encoding, all for it, but I think we have to, and we don't have to be jerks about it, but we have to lovingly put some minimum specs for people. Because like if you have a
Mhm.
Raspberry Pi 3 and you want to contribute to encoding, bless your heart, but you know what I mean? It's like the user experience matters too. So if you
Mhm.
just happen to get assigned to that one encoder, and that encoder is going to take 2 hours to make that video, it's not a good UX, you know. So do we have minimum specs for encoders? I think we should.
I think that's part of the problem. The gateway or the thing that assigns the jobs doesn't take in consideration that type of stuff. So we also have talking about optimization, optimize that gateway. So it knows, for example, maybe someone has a Raspberry Pi. Okay, only give them small videos or shorts, 3 shorts. Only give this Raspberry Pi or this user that doesn't have a very full power computer or upload speed, only give them shorts to
Yeah,
encode. Don't give them a 2 gigabyte, 3 hours movie that later is gonna be
Yeah.
deleted anyways.
Yeah. 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 But you need to be sure that this is not hackable, kind of, because of
Mhm.
course there is a way you could, when you start your node, the node should send its hardware specs to some
Mhm.
centralized server, but everybody can trick
Like.
this.
Oh, I see. I see your
Um,
point. You can say
Yeah.
you can have a really crappy computer, but change the code, hard code specs, and send it to the gateway.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
Yeah.
gotta, I
And
gotta.
also, I mean, Raspberry Pi is, even if you have a Raspberry Pi, and if you only encode shorts, it will still take a half an hour for a half a minute video. So it's still bad
Okay.
UX. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a. We have
I
to
don't know.
be. We don't have to be jerks about it, but I think we do have to put our foot down because there.
Uh,
If um if Sagar's encoder, the one that took 1 hour, is like a really old computer he had in the closet that he was using back in college, maybe he shouldn't have that one running. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because
But it's crazy. His nodes are performing pretty good
yeah, no,
normally.
he normally
So
does, but
it's weird that this
just
was
that
the
one.
case.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was bad luck. It was bad luck that he
yeah,
got
yeah.
assigned to that one.
Maybe he turn it off and on again or whatever
yeah. Uh,
in the middle of
the
encoding.
guy that's
Uh,
kicking our butts is Thor because he has an Nvidia card, so
Mm.
he's
Mhm.
Yeah.
he can encode really fast. So like if you have an Nvidia card and you can do parallel streaming, you can, which I guess is what Jan did. That video that took an hour to Sagar, 10 minutes to Thor, took a minute with an Nvidia card and
two
parallel
Yeah.
minutes.
streaming.
2 minutes.
Yeah, that's
Well,
insane.
yeah. Mhm.
Insane.
So
Mhm.
most VPSs don't have
Yeah,
real graphic cards, and I
Mhm.
think this will be the majority of encoders, even if we get a really big
You will have
big
to get a
throughput.
dedicated server, right?
yeah.
For with
Yeah. Yeah.
At this stage though, it might the cost benefit might not be worth it. But if we can, now another thing to consider, and this is we can discuss this obviously not just in this call. We're probably gonna call it a day here in a minute on the recording. But if we can do parallel streaming for the encoder and make it really really fast, do we want to make that optional? And I say that because, for example, Snappy, my VPS, does a lot of things. It also has the gateway aid. It runs which is another service that we use
Mhm.
for 3Speak. It has storage administration for 3Speak. It has a few things. So if I have parallel streaming and I just really pound that CPU, and maybe somebody's trying to access the gateway aid because it needs to complete a job or something, and it's just not responding because I'm killing the CPU with the encoding. So I think it should be optional. And
Yeah.
somebody who has no, mine is just an encoder. Okay, boom, then do it. Then put it to turbo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's clever.
Absolutely.
By the way, man, I didn't tell you I upgraded my VPS.
Oh, did you?
Mm.
Yeah,
All right,
the one from Eddie.
I'm gonna start installing stuff on
Yeah.
it then. By the way, I know. I think I told this to Kiss already, and he has an account. But if you need an account for testing stuff and one of the VPSs that we control tip, also, uh,
Mhm.
just let us know because obviously that's one of the benefits of being part of the team. It's like whatever infra we have, the things that we're working on, we're more than happy to share because we have a common goal, obviously. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
so
yeah.
there's
So, Maynard, do you know one thing? I just come up to my mind with the new, let me say the new system we want to integrate now for the trade speak. So when a user filling the video details, you just click on post and it's on the Hive blockchain. So while the video is being encoded, being processed behind the server, and when it's done, then user can actually place it. So with these right now, based on what I'm looking at the front end, we are going to be taking off the tracking system. When you try to upload a video, you start seeing all those things. The tracking system I built that we built. Okay, a video is uploading, thumbnails uploading, encoding, blah blah. We
Mhm.
don't even need to have that any longer. So I
Yeah.
think this is a good one. So just upload thumb, then you don't need to show them anything. So
We
they just know
we
that.
we need to have the option because and users need to give the posting authority in that case, or maybe use the thing that people was saying, for scheduled videos, because a lot of people like to schedule videos.
You're right.
So
Yeah,
I would say that maybe 25% of the users actually, at least, maybe more, actually schedule the videos on,
Crazy.
Yeah.
or
yeah,
maybe
yeah, it-
30%.
yeah.
But
That's the
we will use the normal way that we have for that,
Yeah.
because
yeah, that doesn't stop the scheduling of video, right?
mhm,
Because it's still part of the uploading process. You can actually schedule
mhm.
your video on that details page that you put in your the date and time you want to schedule. Then you click on
But that
post
way
and
they can still see the tracking of the video.
tracking on the
So
video.
I mean, yeah,
It's
after
not
they
needed.
schedule the video,
I think I get your point. There's another change that we need to do, and with this we're gonna
which is
switch
the
images.
images.
Is we're
Uh-huh.
gonna switch the images. We're uploading also all the images for the thumbnails on the super node. Not a good practice. That's why sometimes you see on 3Speak that it's a placeholder image. That's because when it was searching for the image in the super node, where is it? Ah, I didn't find it on time, and it rendered
Or
a
it doesn't
thumbnail,
upload. It fails the upload
or it can fail the upload.
because.
Mm.
So we're gonna
Mhm.
we're gonna piggyback off Block Trade's server images hive blog, and I have a code snippet for it because I used it for Snappy, and it's really simple. You have to sign it's a base 64. You have to sign in, then you can upload. It's not that difficult. So we
Yeah.
already have it done, and then we're gonna do that. So that's gonna be good. But we need to make. There's another thing we need to make. We need to make on my AP, the one that I call the pancreas, we're gonna make a new path so you can update your thumbnail because that's something we don't have. Like if you
Mhm.
have a thumbnail you don't like and you want to change it, you should be able to. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's another thing we're gonna
Yeah.
do. Um, so yeah, that's kind of more or less what the plan is. All right, guys. I think we're gonna call it quits for now. This is the first time we're doing this. I hope it was informative. If you found this video and you want to support what we're doing, go check out our profiles. Obviously, Aliento, which is my friend Eddie, as a witness. Tib, are you running a witness? You're not running a witness, are you?
We had a witness and at DIY Hub, but it was not really not that worth it, I would say. We were like space like 130,
Mm-hmm.
and I wrote everyone that they should vote us, and we didn't climb. And I thought, okay, I pay a full server for $50 a month, and we won't make
Mhm.
anything back. That's why we stopped the witness. But
I
now
guess.
it's much cheaper. I've heard. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Mhm.
resources are
You
very very
can
low now.
you can run a witness on something that costs you 25, $20 a month.
Yeah, yeah,
We're talking optimization, so it's part of the optimization they've done. They've
yeah.
even promised you'll be able to run it on a cell phone, which if that's true, that'll be insane.
Yeah.
If you can
We
run,
could do encoding on a cell phone. It will be much better than on a VPS server for real.
yeah.
On
Mhm.
mobile, encoding is really really fast.
Why is that, by the way?
But
Because
I
of
don't
what?
know. They got graphic cards. Maybe
It's
it's
maybe the ARM
optimized
chips
for
are
that
better
stuff.
for encoding. Could be the
Could
ARM
be,
chips.
yeah, yeah,
That's a question for GPT, I guess later.
yeah.
Anyways, guys, well, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me on this. This is supposed to gonna be live on Hive on 3Speak. It's also gonna be on YouTube, on my own channel for now. But by all means, if you want to share the word, you're welcome to download it, copy it. I don't care. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, it's my video. Who cares? This is kind of what we're working on 3Speak. Thank you, Eddie, for coming. Thank you, Tib, for joining us. That was awesome. Thank you, Kiss.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
All right, guys.
All right.